For all the new listeners, don't really follow UFC right now. UFC is obviously professional fighting. Two guys get locked in a cage and they go at it. And you got like 3 women's divisions with belts, and you got maybe 4, and you got like 8, 9 divisions on the men's side. So there's 8 or 9 belts there. There's multiple divisions happening on any given night, multiple weight classes, and there's rankings in those weight classes, and everyone knows probably the top 10 if you're a diehard fan. And it's a never-ending story. It's drama-filled. But a few years ago, when I started getting into MMA and the UFC, someone said to me, "Who are your favorite fighters?" And it really got me thinking. I mean, I knew them, but I never had a list. And that's what the do list is all about. That's what the do list is all about. Who are your favorite fighters? And that's my list. It's easy. Number 1, Khamzat Chimaev. The guy is just 12-0. He's young in the game, but he's already a veteran. He's the best in the world. He's a future 3-belt champion, in my opinion. They've been trying to hold the guy back and not give him the big fights. But he steadily holds his ground. He changes divisions if he has to. He finishes people in his first 4 fights. Think about this now. You're locked in a cage with another human being, and you're both going to start throwing punches and kicks and tie-ups. And you're going to have him on the ground and punching on the net, whatever it is. In his first 4 fights, he was only punched 1 time, and that was just a little jab as the other guy was getting rocked. In first 4 fights, he had 1 punch landed on him. Domination. Struggled with 1 fight against Gilbert Burns, but he completely dominated most of his opponents. That's the case for Khamzat Chimaev, because now, number 2 is John Jones. You're going to be saying, "Chris, how can John Jones not be your number 1? I just explained it. But you got to have John Jones at number 2 in this case, which is virtually number 1 if there's no Khamzat, because this guy is undefeated, more or less. The only loss that he had was a disqualification. So in his 1 disqualification, he dominated his opponent. He just got disqualified for an illegal blow. So he's basically never lost. Or, I mean, he should probably be number 1, but Khamzat is number 1. I don't care what anyone says. He's the future of the sport. He's going to dominate everyone. That's how I feel right now. So if you ask me on the street, it's Khamzat, then John Jones. Then you get to number 3, and it's Islam Makhachev, because he's the ruler of the best division in the sport, the lightweight division. My favorite fighter in that division is number 5, Charles Oliveira, whom he beat. And I'll be rooting for Oliveira here on October 21st when they square up in the main event at Abu Dhabi in the rematch. But Makhachev is likely to win that fight. That's just the bottom line. Number 4 in the middle, you got Yuri Prochazka. He's out. He was a light heavyweight champion. He's out due to injury, but he's still the best in the division, along with a few others. So it'll be interesting to see if he's back to full form. Then you have the featherweight champion. This is 145 pounds, right below lightweight. Alexander Volkanovski. He's ruled this division for years now. He went up to lightweight and fought well against Islam Makhachev, but couldn't pull it off. So he probably deserves to be in the top 5, but it's just a rough top 5 right now to get into. Then you got Sean O'Malley, who shocked the world and won the bantamweight strap. Colby Covington and Leon Edwards are at 8 and 10 because they're getting ready to fight for the title of the welterweight division. And Colby, I like to have him at 4 or 5 just because he's one of my favorite guys in the sport. But he's got to win that fight and get the belt. And then to get more respect and to move up closer to 1, he's got to fight Khamzat at some point. And that will be a rough fight for Khamzat to squeeze back to welterweight if he so chooses. And then Israel Adesanya is still 9 because it's not over yet. He lost to Sean Strickland, who's now in the top 20, but, you know, Adesanya's been the guy forever. Now, he could drop out of the top 10 with another loss, but I assume he's going to keep winning, at least for right now. And maybe he fights Khamzat because Dricus du Plessis is going to fight Sean Strickland, more than likely. So that's the top 10. If you're on the street and you say, Chris Cross, who do you like? That's the list, the order that I'm giving you as of today. So that's what the do list is all about. It's just my example of my favorite fighters combined with skill, ability level, and all that. There's some guys that could be up in there, but they're just not my favorite fighters. They might be champions, but they're not my favorite fighters. So therefore, they're not higher on the list, and it is what it is.
He's gonna fight, wait, he's gonna fight, wait, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height, yeah. Bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight, hold up, think twice. Gladiator, assassin, reckless, no abandon. Walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass stranded. Wake up, hey, where you at? Hey, got